Hello everyone, good morning. Today we are going to discuss about the second part of DNS. The first part we have discussed yesterday and second part we will discuss today. So in the second part, we will discuss about stub zone, active data integrated primary zone, conditional forwarders. Forwarders, both are same, conditional forwarders, route hints and cache servers. Sorry. So coming to stub zone. So what is the stub zone? Sorry. Where is the stub zone? Yeah. What is a stub zone? A stub zone used to resolve names between separate DNS namespace. This type of resolution may necessary when the corporate merger requires the DNS servers for the two separate DNS namespace resolves names for the client in both sides. So corporate mergers. See, for example, two companies are merging as a one company. Okay, let's take one company. Here, the always example is, and second one, let's say this is a company. Okay, and this company is Mindtree. This is the Mindtree, and this is L&T. So these two companies recently merged as a LTI Mindtree. So that is the reason I'm taking this example. So if these two companies, this is a different forest, this is a Mindtree forest, this is L&T forest. In this forest, there is a DNS, domain name system. Here also there is a DNS. So DNS, we discussed yesterday what DNS do. Okay. So if both companies merge as a one company, so first of all, Mindtree infrastructure, Mindtree resources, human resources, employees, management, able to access LNT, and LNT company should able to access Mindtree infrastructure. So vice versa, they need to access. Okay, they need to access vice versa. So we create a trust relationship. So the both companies will communicate vice versa each other. Okay, but DNS, if you call with any host name or IP address, so your network make a smooth. If you make the network smooth, you need to merge these two DNS. So these two DNS, how we can merge, how we can communicate these two DNS, then only whoever access Mindtree infrastructure with the host name or IP address, so they're able to access. Whoever able to access the LNT infrastructure with the host name or IP address, they're able to access. So we need a stub zone. Stub zone is a zone to merge these two DNS. Merge, merge is nothing but not merging, it's just creating the communication between two DNS. Stub zone, see, a stub zone used to resolve names between separate DNS namespace. This is separate DNS namespace, this is separate DNS namespace. This type of resolution may necessary when a corporate merger requires that DNS servers for two separate DNS namespace resolves names for a client in a both space. So if we create a stub zone, then the communication will happen and smoothly people will access the infrastructure vice versa. So for that we use stub zone. Next, what is active data integrated zone? So active data integrated zone. So if you see here, the DNS is separate and Active Directory is a separate thing. But if you want to create a DNS into Active Directory database, if you want to create a DNS into Active Directory database, then it is called Active Directory Integrated Zone. Active Directory Integrated DNS are stored in the directory partition with the Active Directory within the Active Directory. These directory partition replicate along with the rest of AD. So if you observe, if I create a object in the Active Directory, what will happen? It will replicate. It will replicate to all the domain controllers. So likewise, if you create Active Directory integrated zone, if you create an Active Directory integrated zone, so along with Active Directory, the DNS also will replicate. See here, you can clearly see that what is a standard primary or standard secondary, and what is a Active Directory integrated zone. If you see here, see Active Directory integrated zone, arn.com domain DNS zones are Active Directory integrated zone, but I created a zone. So this zone information will not store Active Directory database. Okay, so this is Active Directory integrated zone. This is standard primary zone. So the advantage of Active Directory integrated zone is, along with Active Directory, DNS also replicate. See, for example, if I create a user here in Active Directory, let's create a user. Test 345. Okay, test 345. Sorry. So created test 345. So it will replicate here. So Active Directory, what Active Directory do? It will replicate to other domain controllers. So how the Active Directory is replicating to the other domain controllers? Refresh. Here I have created, right? In which place I created? Users. In users. Okay, just refresh it. Okay. It will. Okay. It takes time. Usually it will replicate, right? So likewise, DNS also replicate how the Active Directory is replicating. How the Active Directory is replicating? It will replicate like Active Directory. Okay. So that is Active Directory integrated zone. Okay. Next. So in the zone types, we discussed the standard primary yesterday, standard secondary, stub zone, and Active Directory zone. So today we will create stub zone, Active Directory zones. Okay. So simply it is store the information of the zone in Active Directory database. So it is a contains only NSSOA records in stub zone. In stub zone, NS and SOA records. So, and coming to conditional forwarders. So what conditional forwarders do? Conditional forwarders, it route the next nearby DNS server. So if you want to forward anything from one domain to another domain, so if you want to forward from here to there, let's take another DNS. Okay, so this is ARN. ARN company. In ARN company, we call there is a DNS. So if you forward anything, for example, here. So if any request comes to Mindtree, so that request can forward to DNS. From LNT you can forward. So any request you can forward from one DNS to another DNS. That is forwarding. Okay. That is forwarding. Root hints. Root hints are, for example, I'm browsing google.com here. Okay. There is no internet here. Just telling that. If I browse google.com here, so what will happen? If there is, the request should go to google.com, right? The request should go to google.com. So, but the DNS, Google DNS is not here. What root hints will do? If the Google DNS is not found in the system, in the domain controller, that request will forward to Google DNS. That is called root hints. These root hints forward to public domain, public DNS servers. Like here, yesterday we discussed public DNS. If the DNS is not found here, it will, root hints will forward to public DNS. So public DNS will reach to DNS. So from one to another, this is called root hints. This is called root hints. And cache. Cache means DNS cache. I will show you how we have a browser cache, right? Likewise, DNS also having cache. So we can see the cache also. We can clear the cache. We can renew the cache. Okay, removing the cache, flushing the cache will do this. Okay, first let's create a stub zone. So how we can create a stub zone? Okay, so now go to DNS. Here there are zones. Okay, so for particular one zone, I'm going to create a stub zone. Okay, so let me create a zone here. Click next. Primary zone. So MSN, just msn.com. I'm just creating one zone. Allow secure. See, this is standard primary zone. So here need to create a host. Okay, win-ad. This is the host, right? What is the computer name of this? Win-ad. So here, what is the IP? 223.10. 192.168.223.10. So created host, and also alias, create alias also. Alias is www. Okay, select host file, MSN host file. Okay, so this is a one zone. So if I create a stub zone in let's say this is a one company, okay, MSN company. So this is, go to DNS. This is a one company. Okay. So here, right click on it, new zone. Click next. Here, stub zone. You need to create a stub zone. Stub zone, create a copy of zone contains of name servers. So stub zone is nothing but creating a copy of this zone here, so that this company ADC, this, let's say this is a one company and this is a one company. So In this company, there is a DNS zone. So same zone, I'm just replicating here so that whoever in this company can able to access this company files, servers, resources, everything. Okay. So stub zone, click next. Here you need to give zone name. Here you need to give zone name. So msn.com. Here you need to give msn name. Click next. Click next. IP address. So which IP address? You need to give this IP address. Okay. 192.168.223.10. Okay. Click next. Click next and finish. That's it. So this is stub zone. So in the stub zone, you can see name servers and SOA, start of authority. Only two records. Only two records. So that now you can see MSN, you didn't create a, now you can ping. See, now you're able to ping MSN. No, there is a communication from here to there because of stub zone. See, here zone is different. Here MSN zone is standard primary zone. Here stub zone, but you're able to access because of stub zone. So here, as I said in the diagram, mind tree. So you create a zone in LNT of, you create a stub zone of mind tree zone. So vice versa, you can create LNT stub zone, LNT stub zone here. So like both companies can able to access vice versa. So that is stub zone. Now coming to Active Directory integrated zone. How can we create an Active Directory integrated zone? So by default, this was created when we install Active Directory. When we install Active Directory, right click on it, click new, click next. Here, see, you need to select this. You need to select this. This is Active Directory integrated zone. Click next. Click next. And you give some name, like let me give, okay, select to all DNS servers running on the domain controller in this domain arn.com. Click next. Here you need to give some name, microsoft.com. This is, I'm going to create Active Directory integrated zone. You need to select allow both secure and non-secure updates. Click next. Finish. See, this is Active Directory integrated zone. Use create. See, Microsoft.com is an Active Directory integrated zone. So here in the Microsoft integrated zone, you need to create a host file. Okay, win-ad. That is the name win-ad. Win-ad IP address 192.168.223.10. Why we are creating the host name? So where the DNS is there, we need to add that server name so that this is a host file where the DNS is there. This is a host server alias. Create www and Microsoft. So alias. So this is Active Directory integrated zone. So now this zone information is stored in Active Directory database. Active Directory database. Now coming to conditional forwarding. So how to create a conditional forwarding? How to create a conditional forwarding? So here there are many zones are there. Here there are many zones. So you create a let's see, ARN Yahoo MSN. ARN Yahoo MSN. There is no Microsoft. Okay, there is no Microsoft zone here, right? You can forward the request to Microsoft zone. Here zone is not required. Zone is not required. We can forward the zone to here. Okay. So let's now in this mission, you just go to conditional forwarding. Right click in it, new conditional forwarder. New conditional forwarder. We are just forwarding the request to this server. Okay. See, Microsoft.com zone is not here, but we can forward the request to Microsoft.com zone. Okay. Click here and give Microsoft.com. Microsoft.com. Here you just give IP address of Microsoft.com zone IP. Okay. And click OK. Okay. Click OK. See, this is forward, conditional forward. Okay. So if you ping www.microsoft.com, see, it is pinging. So the request is this forwarder will forward the request to this Microsoft.com zone. See here, there is no Microsoft.com zone. Just it is a forwarder. It is a forwarder which forwards the request to Microsoft.com. If anyone requested to access Microsoft.com DNS, this forwarder will forward to here. That is called forwarders. Okay. Next, coming to root hints. What are the root hints? Root hints, as I said in the yesterday class, root hints, because of root hints only, if the DNS not found here, it will send to public DNS. So root hints, see here, right click on it, go to properties. Here, root hints. See, these are all root hints. These are all DNS servers. So if anything not found, for example, here, google.com. I'm browsing google.com here. So google.com DNS is not here. So these root hints will forward to public DNS. To public DNS. So because of these root hints only, we can find Google DNS. Google DNS. Root hints resolves the queries for zones that do not exist on the local DNS server. They are only used if forwarders are not configured or fail to respond. So if the DNS is not found in the local server, so that will root hints will forward the request. These are all root hints. Nothing to do, just root hints only. Don't touch this root hints. Okay, root hints. Okay. Next, coming to cache server. What is cache server? So if you open ipconfig / display DNS. So to see the cache of DNS, ipconfig / display DNS. So this is the cache. So far we have worked on these. So this is the cache. How the browser cache generating, the DNS cache will generate like this. Okay, let me check here the cache. ipconfig / display DNS. See, so in this mission, this is the DNS cache. See, we worked on Microsoft. So this is all whatever we browsed, whatever we checked the DNS, all this cache. This is the DNS cache. If you want to flush the cache, I mean, you want to remove the cache, this cache, IP config / flush flush DNS. So now the DNS cache is removed. Let's check. Is it removed or not? ifconfig / display DNS. See, sorry. ipconfig. See, no cache. So there is no cache. Now let me, this is the cache, right? So let me erase this cache. ipconfig / flush DNS. See, successfully flush the DNS, resolve a cache. Now ipconfig / display DNS. So what is the use of this cache? So what is the use of browser cache? Anyone can tell me what is the use of browser cache? So then you can easily understand this DNS cache. If you're able to answer the DNS, if you're able to answer the browser cache, then you can easily understand this DNS cache. Sorry. Can anyone tell me why need cache? Why the cache is generating? To bandwidth consumption. Sorry. Why we need cache? Why the websites are generating cache in the browser, in your browser? Because
to store web pages locally.
What is the advantage of storing web pages in the local?
We can access it whenever we want.
Okay. Yes, it's almost correct. So why the browser creating a cache means, for example, I mean websites creating cache in the browser. If I browse google.com, this page is cached in our browser. So whenever I open this page, I mean google.com, the request will not go to the server, web server. It will load from my local cache. This page will load from local cache so that user experience the fastness, speed. So for everything, the user no need to come to the web server. So that is the reason web server creates a cache in locally. So if you open the new page, for example, DNS cache. So if I'm open this new page, this page will go to, this request will go to server because this page cache is not available in my system. So that it reduces the traffic to the web server. So all the cache will answer your request. But if you send a new request, that will go to Google server. So why the web server maintain the cache in your browser? So to create a good user experience, so that you will feel fast. Feel happy that so every request should not go to web server, and it will load from your cache. Pages will load from cache. If new request you're requesting, that request will go to server. So likewise here, DNS also DNS also maintaining cache because of user experience. So you no need to your request will not go to DNS server every time, because the cache server will answer your request, cache server will respond to your request. If you request a new thing which is not in the cache, that will go to DNS server. Rest all your requests will respond by the cache server, DNS cache server. Got it? So that's all about today. Thanks for joining. Have a great day. And let me stop the